Dismantling the deep state is a top priority for the incoming Trump administration. But more danger for Donald Trump may lie ahead. In 2017, at the start of Trump's first term, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer warned him about taking on the deep state.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
Crossfire hurricane, Russia collusion, a 2-year special prosecutor investigation, 2 impeachments, federal and state indictments, 2 assassination attempts. So what can we expect in the days ahead? Well, joining us to share some thoughts is former whistleblower and pastor Pedro Orta. Pastor Orta served in counterintelligence and as an operations officer at the CIA for 18 years. Also in the Office of the Inspector General for the intelligence community. He's author of the book, The Broken Whistle, A Deep State Run Amok, and producer of a documentary out in February called Deep State Gangsters. Pedro, you were a part of the deep state for 18 years. You know it well. So in your estimation, how capable and willing are our intelligence agencies to protect the incoming president from another assassination attempt?
It's a very, very difficult topic to quickly expound upon. Deep state, national security bureaucracy, entrenched since the very beginnings of its foundation, 1947 National Security Act. We're talking about a CIA that historically has lacked congressional oversight, which led to serious abuses in the 50s and the 60s. They tried to mitigate it in the 70s with the Church Committee, but yet once again, 80s and 90s, their power grew again. And post 9/11, the Patriot Act and so forth gave them vast additional powers, plus, the technological surveillance state. So with these vast powers, it is very easy for them to abuse these powers, lie to the FISA courts, for example, to turn collection on political adversaries, as we witnessed, and for that matter, manufacture evidence, as they did against General Flynn, and to a degree, President Trump. So it's a perilous environment. Priority number 1 is going to be to root out and clean out this corruption. It's going to demand that he appoint specific personnel like Devin Nunes, Kash Patel, Rick Grinnell, people who have taken on this deep state. And they're going to have to dig deep and go into the senior executive service, the senior intelligence service. These are the higher ups, and start cleaning people out.
Well, many Americans have criticized the Secret Service for not having enough assets on the ground and in the air, protecting the former president in Butler, Pennsylvania. We still haven't seen the attempted assassin's phone records. Many of the details are still being withheld from Congress and the public 4 months after the incident. Share your thoughts on this. What have you learned?
Well, here lies the problem. You mentioned it. Congress has not received information. There's been a serious lack of congressional oversight, where what I mean by this is Congress has the power to demand for information from the government bureaucracy, the executive branch. That's part of their legislative oversight duties. But what happens here is these agencies know that they can not comply, they can lie, they can manipulate, they can delay, they can cheat, and Congress will do nothing. Well, Congress needs to step it up, and particularly one lever is funding. Congress has the ability to completely shut off, not necessarily all funding, but relevant funding for some of these entities that refuse to comply. If Congress would do their due diligence and stop the funding, I can assure you that these agencies will comply and turn over records.
Yeah, money talks, doesn't it? On a scale of 1 to 10, Pedro, how great do you believe the threat is to Donald Trump's life at this time?
Well, there's a couple of things. Extremely grave. I mean, we've had now, and we know it's a fact, Iranians trying to potentially assassinate him. For that matter, we have a weakened bureaucracy at the Secret Service with the DEI policies that completely just gutted and undermined their mission. So, I mean, there are serious questions about the Secret Service ability to protect the president. So consequently, yes, I mean, he is at grave risk. And I pray and believe and hope that he's even using his own private security services to beef it up.
Okay, with Donald Trump promising to dismantle the deep state, then, how, in your opinion, can that be accomplished, other than the money?
Well, again, first and foremost, quality appointments. He cannot make the mistake he made in his first administration. For example, Mike Pompeo, I like Mike Pompeo. I like his Christian beliefs. But honestly, I was there when Mike Pompeo was there. It was not Pompeo's agencies. It was Brennan's agencies still being run by Brennan's personnel. And he had handpicked Gina Haspel to be his deputy. So first and foremost, President Trump is going to have to select some individuals who have proven themselves to have either fought or combat the deep state.
So who do you think he needs as National Intelligence Director and maybe even FBI Director?
I would recommend for the National Intelligence Director, Rick Grinnell. Reason being is he proved himself as the acting DNI. It wasn't until he went in after they basically told Daniel Coates to leave. He was another just stooge, in my opinion, where basically it was still Clapper's DNI under Daniel Coates. So Rick Grinnell went in, and only then did the DNI started releasing documents on the Russia hoax and so forth. For FBI, I believe that we need a strong law enforcement type officer. Some possible names: Sheriff Lamb in Arizona, Bernard Kerik, a former New York City police commissioner, Dan Bongino. If not one of these three, maybe somebody of that kind of caliber who has the law enforcement background, but more importantly, is not just talk, but action.
And Pedro, you've written Broken Whistle. Tell us about your forthcoming documentary, Deep State Gangsters. I know it's set for release in February. And as a pastor, I'm assuming you view many of the actions of the deep state as evil. So what role is God playing here in protecting the country and the incoming president?
Well, it comes down to a poem by a German theologian, Niemöller. Who will speak for you when they come looking for you? He was in Germany prior to the formation of the Nazi government, during the Nazi regime and post-Nazi regime. And the bottom line was, if we fail to act, fail to speak up, fail to take action, we're complicit with evil. There is a need for light to be light, not for us to hide our light. So we as Christians, as believers, have to arise. And what I mean by this is, take, for example, Congress. We have many congressmen who wear their Christianity like if it was a suit, a code of honor. But yet when it comes time to take action against this evil, they do nothing. So the point of this documentary, at the end, it's basically, we need light to be light. And what happens here is, if people don't rise up and start taking action, it emboldens and empowers these rogue elements of our government to become even bolder and more wicked and take more action, as we witnessed basically when Biden took over in 2021 with all the mayhem unleashed against President Trump.
Okay, we're looking forward to that. The book is The Broken Whistle, A Deep State Run Amok. Pedro Orta, thank you for sharing your insights. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary. God bless you.